Evening, it was on this very day, 4 years ago, at 3 p.m., 5 heavily armed terrorists attacked the Dusit D2 complex along Riverside Drive in Nairobi. A siege that lasted almost 17 hours left in its wake 21 people dead, among them a GSU officer and many others nursing injuries.
Well, in our special report on the 4th anniversary of the deadly attack, our reporter Gatete Njoroge spoke to survivors of the attack, including the mother of the late Ali Salim Gichunge, the man believed to have been the mastermind of the attack. The anniversary comes against the backdrop of a concerted effort by the National Counter-Terrorism Center to deal with domestic radicalisation and integrate reformed extremists back to society.
On the 15th of January 2019, terrorists struck Nairobi's upmarket Riverside area, killing 22 people. Just over 700 others were lucky to escape with injuries. 4 years later, business is back to normal at Dusit D2 with enhanced security at the complex. Survivors of the attack continue to rebuild their lives while the government continues to enhance measures to counter terrorism. In Isiolo County, we met Sakina Mariam. She is the mother of the late Ali Salim Gichunge, a man identified as one of the attackers, a suspected mastermind of the Dusit D2 attack. Sakina was arrested and later set free by a Nairobi court after the court dismissed charges of failing to disclose to police information on the whereabouts of her son.
Hiyo jina sio jina mzuri, hata mzazi afurahi kutajanishwa naye.
Mariam says the last time she saw her son was in May 2015 when he left home while she was away on a trip. She was told that he had received a scholarship to study religious education.
Break ya kwanza nilifungia bedroom yake. Nikiingia watu wamenifuata nyuma, nikawauliza Ali yako wapi? Wakanambia Ali hayuko. Alienda, nikawauliza lini? Wakanambia mama uliondoka Thursday. Ali naye alikufuata nyuma Saturday. Ndiye aliondoka.
She would later talk to her son after 2 days and he told her that he was in Mombasa where he had secured a new job.
Monday asubuhi simu ikaingia. Simu ilipoingia tukaongea na yeye. Tukasalimiana, nikamwambia hata nimefika, unakuja? Akaniambia mama. Akaniambia mimi sikuji, nimepata kazi. Nikamuuliza umepata kazi aje na siku mbili? Akaniambia ile scholarship yangu imekuja, lakini mimi nimepata kazi niko Mombasa. Na bado nitaendelea na masomo.
His phone was switched off for close to a month before he made another call in June 2015 with a number that started with +252, which is a Somalia calling code. That call broke her heart and she immediately reported to the police.
Nikakimbia kuripoti. Wale pale niliripoti, wakaniambia ni sawa sawa, ngoja ukipigiwa simu nyingine utuletee majibu. Ikawa akapiga tena pia vile vile. Ikawa sasa kuna NGO fulani iko hapa Isiolo, wale ndio sasa wakawa wanatushikilia. Wale wazazi wenye watoto wamepotea tunaitwa pale seminar kuongeleshwa mpaka na county commissioner.
The slain terrorist last made a call to the family in 2017 before going silent only for the news of the attack to hit the family 2 years later. Gichunge's elder sister Amina Mohammed was the first to recognize her brother from the CCTV footage and the story that was being aired by local and international media houses.
The first video ilikuwa ina circulate ilikuwa ya Reuters. So when niliona hiyo video yani ile nilikuwa na ile like butterflies. Naona inakaa kama najua, inakaa kama simjui, but sikutaka kuregister inaweza kuwa ni ndugu yangu. Usiku saa 1 nilipata habari kutoka kwa station ya Citizen. Kwa news ya saa 1 alisema kuna wakati alituma pesa kwa hiyo pale alikuwa anaishi. Ikajitoa Ali Salim Gichunge.
Amina akaniambia mama sijui kama tutakuwa na sura tena. Ndugu yangu ni muhusika. Nikamuuliza umejuaje? Akaniambia nimemuona mwili na hata vile anatembea ni yeye. Vile ana limp kwa sababu mguu yake ilikuwa imewekwa chuma moja.
The action by her only son led to the arrest of Mariam by DCI detectives from Isiolo. Shortly after the arrest, she was arraigned in court.
Mimi nilianza kupiga nduru kotini pale na nikalia sana. Nikauliza ifikiaje mimi nishiko niletwe mahali kama hii. Kwani mimi nimekosea wapi? Mimi sikuwa nimejua mtoto kama ameingia pahali mbaya kama hiyo. Na kama ningelijua singekubali aje arudi afanye hata kitendo kama hiyo alitenda. Mimi imeniuma na hakuna kitu chochote ninajua.
For 7 months, Mariam was in and out of the Langata Women's Prison until July 5th, 2019, when she was set free.
Jaji akaniambia koti imekuweka uhuru, imekuachilia, hauna mashtaka ya kujibu. Mimi pale nilishindwa kufungia. Mimi nilimshukuru na nikaomba Mungu sana. Baada ya hapo nikulia.
But the actions of her son subsequently changed their lives in Isiolo as neighbors started shunning her family.
Mimi kutoka hapa nifike soko ni kazi ngumu. Mimi kutoka hapa nifike hata kwa sherehe, ikiwa iko sherehe, mimi siendi hata kama ni rafiki. Kwa mazishi kitokea na ni mazishi hata ya mtu ninajua, nikienda inakuwa na kazi ngumu sana. Nikifika tu hivi tayari watu wameanza story yangu. Wamenionesheana. Wengine waogopi, wanasema mama ya Al-Shabaab, mama ya gaidi mkuu.
So mara ya kwanza nili lose biashara, nika lose kazi. Kwa sababu ya nini? Time yangu nyingi ilikuwa nashughulikia mama yangu. My siblings, kwa sababu hata shule walikuwa waendi. Kwanza kuna mmoja hata ali drop out, nikabidi anarudi shule baadaye kufanya private.
As the stigma intensified, Mariam and her 4 daughters found solace in the National Counter-Terrorism Center, which runs a rehabilitation program for families who have lost their children to violent extremism.
Sasa NCTC wakikuja wakiniita, wale wengine pia wananiita. Pale sasa ninaendelea kupona polepole. Nikikaa kwa kikao, tukiongea ninaona kuna watu wananipenda. Imekuwa wamenichukua, wanipeleke kwa wenye wanalia kama mimi. Ndio nione si peke yangu nimepitia hayo maneno.
Sakina describes herself as a victim of terrorism, even though her son was the mastermind of the attack. Says she will only heal once she gets a chance to meet with families that lost their loved ones. She also wants to apologize for her son's actions.
Uchungu ninalia, mtoto ameuawa, mtoto ameua na jina yangu imeharibika. Na ninaumwa pia na familia zile zinalia saa hizi. Kama wale waliwachwa walemavu, mimi ninalia. Wale walipoteza jamii yao, mimi ninalia. Mimi ningetamani vile nitawaface tukumbatiane. Ningetamani tushare shida pamoja na wao, kwa sababu ni wenzangu vile pia.
Back in Nairobi at the complex.
So the guy blew himself right below this tree, this big tree that you see right here, yeah, down here.
We meet Okoth Obado, a survivor of the attack and one among the many who opted to return to his workstation to the complex a month after the attack occurred.
Part of the reason to come back, the management felt that we had to triumph over terror, you know, because what these guys try to do is to intimidate you, to cow you, so that you succumb. So coming back was important to show that, you know, if we invest, you know, in fighting terror with all our might and resources as a country, which we've done, and we are resilient enough, you know, we should be able to continue with life and show them that you will not put us down.
Obado, who was in charge of over 100 members of staff when the attack happened, says he is grateful for the gallant actions of the security officers that rescued his colleagues.
The terrorists came to our reception and they started shooting randomly. It was so loud, you can imagine you're in an enclosed place, that I decided to climb into the ceiling. But when you look at these ceilings, they're actually false ceilings. You know, they can't hold you, so I fell. I think I was like 10 meters away from where they were shooting, and I really gotten frightened. In fact, at that time, I actually took my last prayers.
Obado, who feels much safer now in the same environment, says there is need for Kenyans to understand how to react in a situation where there is a terror attack.
There are 3 important things that you used to do when there's terror. You run, hide, fight. But how many of us take attention? That day, I actually recall that I implemented, you know, what I was reading, because I couldn't run, so I had to look for a place to hide.
For the director of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Rosalind Nyawira, the Dusit D2 attack was an eye-opener, providing crucial lessons in the fight against terrorism in the country.
In prevention and in countering, what we have done is that we have gone down to the communities, because this is where we should have started. But by the way the threat unfolded, you see, we started with attacks. And therefore, there had to be counter-terrorism for us to stem tide of attacks. We have done a lot of capacity building for religious leaders, for everyone, the private sector, for the private guards, for them to know when I'm searching a vehicle, what am I looking for, if it's a terrorist that I'm looking for. And so what we have done is that because of that enlightenment, now people are able to tell you that in a certain place there's something funny happening. And so because of that pressure, the radicalisation now moved online.
Dr. Nyawira says research has shown that lack of mentorship, especially from male figures in families, has been a contributing factor to the increasing number of radicalized youth.
We are working with the men, especially as mentors, because we have realized, and this is by empirical studies, that the youth that have left to the jihadi theaters, I don't like calling them jihadi, to the combat theaters, actually lacked mentorship, especially from male figures. So you find most of them would be women-headed households or families in conflict. And so we brought together counselors and mentors for the youth.
Other contributing factors that parents should watch out for to prevent their children from being radicalized is to closely monitor their activities online and any sudden behavioral changes.
I think the more we've worked in this sector, the more we've realized that the perpetrators of these attacks are victims in themselves somehow. Because these are young people, and it's important and instructive for Kenyans to know that people who are radicalized and who end up going to commit atrocities like these are not old people. They're not like you and me. They're actually young boys and girls. They're people who are impressionable. They're people who are probably in their teenage years. They're people who are still looking for an identity. They're people who can be swayed very easily, and it's not the same as you and I.
If you see something that's our running course, say something, tell us. We can be able to come and see. If you see a child is going wayward, if you see there's someone new in a village and has come and he's there, you know, because there'll be talk. There's some new person, there's a new cleric, the way he's preaching, people are uncomfortable with it. Please say something so that we can nip it in the bud before it becomes violent.
These efforts, together with support from international communities, Dr. Nyawira says, will help Kenya counter terrorism, which continues to evolve and cause more suffering to millions across the globe. The U.S. State Department on Thursday announced a $10 million reward for anyone with information leading to the arrest of Mohammed Abdi Aden, who is believed to be the mastermind of the Dusit D2 attack.